On Love and Marriage Huntsville, titles are never simple. When someone calls LaTisha Scott the boss, it is not just a compliment. It is a statement about power, influence, control, and position inside a cast where everyone believes they matter. So the real question is not just whether she deserves the title. The real question is what that title even means in this world. Leticia has been there from the beginning. She is not a new face trying to find her place. She is an original cast member. That alone gives her weight. In reality television, being an original matters. It means you helped build the foundation. You were there before the ratings grew. You were there before the headlines got loud. Longevity creates leverage. When you survive season after season, you gain experience. You understand production. You understand editing. You understand how storylines move. That kind of knowledge can look like quiet power. But being present is not the same as being in control. On Love and Marriage Huntsville, control often comes from narrative dominance. Who drives the conversation? Who creates the biggest reactions? Who trends online? For many seasons, the storyline that shaped the show centered around Melody Sherry and Martell Holt. Their marriage, their separation, their divorce, and the fallout created major discussion. Viewers debated loyalty, betrayal, independence, and growth. That conflict carried entire seasons. It pulled in strong opinions. It made people choose sides. So when Leticia is called the boss, people naturally compare. They ask, is she the emotional center of the show? Is she the business leader? Is she the face? Or is she simply steady and consistent while others create louder moments? Recently, Leticia posted a polished Valentine's Day photo with her husband, Marcel Scott. The image was romantic. Roses, chocolate, smiling faces. It looked perfect. But on reality TV, nothing is just a photo. Everything is messaging. Their marriage has faced public questions. There have been rumors, there have been accusations, there have been tense reunion moments. So when a couple in that position posts a clean, happy, united image, it speaks without words. It says stability, it says unity, it says we are still here. Valentine's Day content in this space is not random. It is branding, it is reassurance, it is also strategy. Leticia understands that every public moment can shape perception. She followed that romantic post by promoting their chocolate and wine product. That connects emotion to business. Love equals product. Marriage equals brand. That is smart alignment. It shows she knows how to turn visibility into income. Then there is the hair care line, featuring her daughter modeling beautiful hair. Clean visuals, family focus. That creates another image. Not just wife, not just cast member, but mother building something for the next generation. That is identity building. That is long-term thinking. A boss in business does not only focus on today, a boss builds legacy. The conversation about her being the boss really heated up when she appeared on a platform connected to Bell Collective. During her introduction, she was described as a boss mom, amazing wife, CEO, commercial real estate investor, and community leader. Then came the word boss. That word shifted everything, because on this show, leadership is sensitive. Every cast member presents strength in different ways. Melody presents independence and business focus after divorce. Martell presents ambition and dominance. Marcel presents strategy and logic. Maurice Scott often presents himself as analytical and calm. So when Leticia is publicly labeled the boss, it can feel like someone is placing her above the others. But what does boss mean here? Does it mean she runs the cast? Does it mean she controls storylines? Or does it mean she manages her image better than most? If we look at her moves carefully, we see patterns. She protects her marriage publicly. Even when viewers question her, she stays. She does not rush to leave. She does not break down on camera often. She maintains composure. Some see that as strength. Others see it as avoidance. But staying calm under pressure is a skill. She also expands her reach beyond one show. Appearing on Bell Collective connects her to another audience. That increases visibility. It builds cross-show recognition. In network terms, that is valuable. It makes her more than just one cast member. It makes her part of a larger ecosystem. There have been serious rumors around her marriage. Allegations that Marcel fathered a child outside their marriage created heavy talk. A DNA test was mentioned. At the reunion, it was said the child was not his. But once rumors spread, they leave impact. Reality television works like that. Even if something is denied later, the first headline often sticks longer than the correction. So if Leticia continues to stand beside her husband despite public storms, what does that show? Loyalty? Strategy? love, or all three? Some viewers believe she deserves praise for keeping her family together. Others believe that leadership would mean demanding stronger accountability on camera. That difference in opinion is what keeps debate alive. On reality TV, power is not only about money, it is about narrative gravity. Whose story pulls attention, whose scenes get replayed, whose arguments trend online. In earlier seasons, much of that gravity came from Melody and Martell's breakup. That is not opinion. That is based on audience reaction and social media conversation. But Leticia has her own type of influence. She often becomes central when defending her marriage. That defensive energy creates tension. Tension creates engagement. Engagement keeps shows alive. In that way, she contributes to the engine of the series. Let's talk about transparency. Many viewers want deeper honesty from the cast. They want current updates. They want hard questions answered clearly. They feel some topics are brushed aside. If Leticia truly wants the boss title to feel earned in the eyes of viewers, she may need to show more vulnerability. On screen, vulnerability builds loyalty. When someone opens up fully, audiences feel connected. But full openness carries risk. Once something is said on camera, it cannot be taken back. Once a detail becomes public, it lives online forever. Cast members know that. They understand the value of timing. They know that some revelations can be saved for negotiation. There has been discussion about Martell wanting large compensation before introducing his son with Ariane Curry onto the show. That tells us something important. Personal life equals financial value in this industry. So if Leticia chooses not to reveal everything about her marriage, it may not be weakness, it may be strategy. She may be protecting leverage. A boss protects assets. In reality TV, personal information is an asset. Let's also consider image contrast. Melody represents independence after divorce. She built a brand around moving forward alone. Leticia represents commitment within controversy. She shows that staying can also be strength. Two different archetypes, two different types of power. Audience perception is everything. What one person sees as grace, another sees as denial. What one sees as loyalty, another sees as fear. Perception shapes influence. That is true beyond this show. Even in unrelated viral moments, like when Michael Jordan celebrated publicly with a racing team family member, and people debated whether the gesture was inappropriate, the situation showed how perception drives reaction. Intent does not always control interpretation. The same applies here. Leticia's palm approach may feel strong to some and evasive to others. Leadership inside an ensemble cast is complex. If someone is labeled the boss, it can shift energy. Others may feel challenged. Titles can create silent competition. On a show built around couples and friendships, that can change alliances. Leticia's brand leans towards soft power, family, beauty, stability, romance, business. She rarely leads with loud conflict. She leads with presentation. But reality TV also rewards bold confrontation. The cast member who pushes the hardest often controls the scene. So maybe the better question is not whether she is the boss overall, but what kind of boss she is. She may be the business boss. She may be the longevity boss. She may be the endurance boss. Surviving rumors and staying present season after season is not easy. Another layer to consider is salary and negotiation. Cast members negotiate screen time and exposure. If Leticia continues to expand her ventures and appear on connected platforms, she increases her value. Networks invest in people who bring cross-audience appeal. There is also viewer fatigue to think about. Some fans feel the show needs deeper current updates. They want real-time clarity. They want less surface conversation and more truth. If the show evolves in that direction, whoever steps forward first with real transparency could shift power quickly. Being labeled the boss sets expectations. Viewers expect leadership. They expect initiative. They expect someone to move the story forward. If Leticia leans into that and begins driving deeper conversations, the title could feel natural. If she continues staying measured and reserved, the debate will continue. One thing is clear. She understands branding. She understands presentation. She understands timing. She knows when to smile for the photo. She knows when to defend her marriage. She knows when to promote a product. That awareness is not accidental. Reality television power is never permanent. It changes with audience mood. It changes with season themes. It changes with new information. A boss one year can become background the next year. Staying relevant requires evolution. If Leticia wants the crown without question, she may need to combine her calm strategy with stronger on-screen direction. She may need to initiate conversations rather than only respond to them. She may need to show both strength and vulnerability. At the same time, her steady image may be exactly what the show needs to balance louder personalities. Every ensemble needs contrast. Without contrast, everything becomes noise. So, is Leticia Scott the boss of Love and Marriage Huntsville? The answer depends on definition. If boss means longevity, business focus, and brand control, she qualifies strongly. If boss means narrative dominance and emotional center of the show, the debate remains open. What cannot be denied is that she has survived storms that would have removed others. She has built ventures while filming. She has kept her family image intact publicly despite constant pressure. That takes discipline. As the next season approaches, expectations will be higher. Being called the boss raises the bar. Viewers will watch closely. They will look for leadership moments. They will look for honesty. They will look for authority in action, not just in introduction. In reality TV, crowns are tested every season. Titles are proven through scenes, not words. If Leticia steps further into guiding conversations and expanding her brand while satisfying viewer curiosity, the label may stick. If not, it will remain a compliment debated online. One thing remains certain. On Love and Marriage Huntsville, power is negotiated scene by scene, episode by episode, and anyone who survives long enough to even be considered for the boss title has already shown a level of strength worth acknowledging.